then we're bringing everybody back up.
But I mean,
Yeah.
like, do all of them and then go down for pictures,
Okay.
as opposed to like go down for pictures.
The issue is in talking.
Well, yeah,
Okay, so, all right.
I no idea.
I have no idea who he's from.
His issue is not us walking back and forth.
You know what I'm saying? Like, then come back and then get a picture. And then
So
come
let, announce everybady's stuff, and then, when you gonna let them say something?
Well, they can speak then
Oh, and
at
then,
each one like we normally would.
then
And
after
then we
the
just save
last
all the
one, then
pictures to
you
the
can
end.
pick.
Okay, to the end of all the.
I like
And
that.
we all just go down and get pictures.
Yeah,
Okay.
individual pictures and then group picture.
Flexible.
You know, it just seems.
Yeah, up and down, yeah, I think that's a great idea. What's this here?
You know, Rita is the longest serving judge
Yeah.
in Georgia history. Last year, right? No other judge has served as long here.
For 40 years?
She helped write Georgia Constitution. Justice of the peace.
She wrote the Georgia Constitution, wasn't that wrote in 18 something?
When the current incarnation.
Oh, just in the say.
Did you
I
see
don't want her talking to me, shit, she's some kind of ghost.
No,
So all the three categories.
Oh, I give her a
I'm
whole
like
kind
1980
of.
something. I read it. What's it,
Yeah, well, I told
What?
Justin.
Ghost.
Right.
Hey, she started saying she was here when they wrote the Constitution, I'm like, wasn't it 1776? 1876?
I said, you don't know.
Four complete rewrites.
Oh,
Because they had
okay.
like a starting one, and
Yeah, I
then
saw that one.
all the southern states were forced per the treaty to like rewrite their constitutions after the Civil War.
Oh, okay, then.
Supposedly from someone at Rowling's.
For the meeting,
No,
yes.
right.
Okay.
Or we read it.
And he's telling them that we're building.
Well, either way, I'm proud of her. Isn't she a veteran?
Maybe it's not.
Is she a veteran? I feel like reading
But if he wants me to change
I
it,
don't know. I know that her office looks like a trophy store. Because it's just the wars on every square inch of the walls and every surface. Is just,
I feel like it's either her, it was either her or Gary was a veteran, but I feel like it was her that was a veteran. I'm like,
okay, the mics are live.
Thank you.
thank you.
And we are streaming.
yep. Yep.
When you do it this way, I lose the clock.
3 minutes.
Okay, thank you. We're going to allow each person to get their, read their award, speak, go to the next person, get their award, speak, and then we'll have all the pictures happen.
Where's Rocky?
Having kids is always a good thing. Oh, we have not started yet. That was something different.
In this building, the carpet will be replaced over Labor Day weekend.
Oh, are we getting more carpet? Is that for like the sound or?
No, it's to get rid of all of the drill marks all over the floor.
Right, but I'm saying, as opposed to some other floor, we're getting carpeting. Instead of like tile or.
Yeah, it's carpeting. Tyler, did you take
Well, that's what I was thinking.
did you take a look at HR?
No.
When we leave, remind me and I'll show you HR, they were upgraded this past week.
Okay.
Because they're
Has it been that long? I thought it was only.
When we got all of this changed, that's when they did the carpet. But, you know, we were like not letting people have functions in here because we thought they dirtied it up, but it dirtied its own self
The
up.
glue underneath it has caused significant problems. So all that
So how will we keep the next carpet from doing that?
it's a floating carpet and it doesn't require glue.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Oh, good. Number two,
Okay, we're done. Good evening and welcome to the Spalding County Board of Commissioners Extraordinary Session. It is Monday, August 15th, 2022 at 6 p.m. This time I'd request that everybody please silence your cell phones and all other electronic devices. I'd also request that the commissioners speak into the microphones when they're having an opportunity to talk. We'd like to ask Mr. Watts with the Rising Star Missionary Baptist Church to deliver the invocation, followed by Commissioner Rita Johnson with the pledge to the flag.
Greetings, let us pray. In the powerful name of Jesus, Lord, we come to you. We stand before you today, God. Lord, just asking for unity, God. Lord, just asking for wisdom and understanding, Lord. Lord, we ask that you bless each and every person that's here today, God. Put your hands on our leaders, Lord, and Lord, just let them lead us in the right direction, God. Lord, just greet us with unity and peace. And it is in your powerful name your people have prayed. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Watts. Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Presentations and proclamations. For those of you that are here the first time, you'll be able to follow along and see what we're seeing on our screens if you look to the big screen on your right. Consider requests to recognize the following employees for their service to Spalding County. The way we would like to do it this time with, there are going to be 4 of them, is we will read the proclamation or the certificate, ask the person to step forward to the microphone and speak, and then sit back down, and then the next one will be done, and then the next one, and then the next one. Then we will have individual and group photos at the end of that, so everybody understands how we're going to do it, instead of coming down, doing it, coming back, coming down, and doing it. At this time, Dr. Ledbetter.
First up this evening, Spalding County wishes to recognize 40 years of service for service completed July 1, 2022 to Miss Rita Kavanaugh, the judge, outstanding judge, for her outstanding performance and lasting contributions to the Spalding County government, awarded this 31st day of July 2022. God bless you, Miss Rita.
We'd like for you to say 40 years of doing it with us.
40 years, we don't have that much time tonight, and nobody wants to hear all that anyway. But it has been an honor to serve the county for 40 years. Actually, I've been with the county longer than that, but for 47 years actually. But prior to being a magistrate judge, I was a justice of the peace. So I actually, the county paid me for issuing warrants when we were under the old fee system. So actually 47 years I've been in the system. But it's been a pleasure, and it's been a great learning experience for me, because I've learned a lot about people, a whole lot about people, some good, some bad. But I haven't done it by myself. I've had a lot of good support, my daughter, my family, My office staff is just wonderful. I couldn't do anything without them. And of course, all of you up there that have been so generous to us in our office and have always helped me when I needed help. Thank you very much.
Judge Kavanaugh, go ahead.
The longest serving judge in Georgia history, and still serving. No judge in the history of Georgia has served as long as she, and I hope she serves 40 more.
Yes.
I'm the longest serving, but not the oldest.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
All right.
Next up, 35 Years Service Award for service completed June 26, 2022 is hereby presented to Kenneth Wilkerson for outstanding performance and lasting contributions to the Spalding County government, awarded this 30th day of June 2022. Director Imberger?
Thank you. It's an honor tonight to honor Kenneth. He began with the county in 1987. He has held the positions of Public Works Officer 1, 2, 3, and 4. He is currently a Senior Public Works Officer. He started on our right-of-way crew. He is a premier equipment operator and operates all of the heavy equipment for Spalding County. For several years, he operated one of the 2 motor graders maintaining the east side of the county. He fills in for our road supervisor when he's not here. He has won numerous regional equipment operator competitions, and in 2020, he was named the American Public Works Association Georgia Public Works Employee of the Year. And he's been married to Vicki for 33 years.
Stage.
Thank y'all. I don't talk a whole lot around people, but it's been a fun. So, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Next up is 30 years of service for completing 30 years of service January 1, 2022 is hereby presented to T.J. Imberger for outstanding performance and lasting contributions to the Spalding County government, awarded this 30th day of June 2022. Can't say enough about T.J. I don't know if you guys realize it or not, but T.J. is the president of GRPA this year. Next year, please forgive me. He's the incoming president, that's right. But he is just instrumental across the state. I've had the privilege of riding around with TJ and seeing the inner workings that he does here locally, but I've also had the privilege of walking around our ACCG training events with our vendors and listening to every one of those in the sales team as well as their leadership team talk tremendously about what TJ does for our county and how committed he is to making sure that we've got all the things that we need in place to take care of our citizens on a yearly basis. I'm proud to recognize TJ this evening. It's my honor. TJ, congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's obviously been fun. We got a lot more work to do. Great commissioners I've worked for and with over the years, and obviously you can't do what I do without an amazing staff. So thank you very much, and thank you to them as well.
Thank you, T.J.
And last this evening, but certainly not least, Spalding County wishes to recognize Randy King for 25 years of service for completing his 25 years, July 24th, 2022, for outstanding performance and lasting contributions to the Spalding County government, awarded this 31st day of July 2022.
Congratulations, Randy. Congratulations.
All right, we congratulate Randy King. He's a proud member of the military, serving in the Air Force 92 through 96. He started with Spalding County in 97. I think you're going to learn some stuff about Randy you didn't know. So, promoted to Public Works Officer 2 in 1999. He was promoted to Public Works Officer 3 in 2007. He began on our grass, side cutter, and bridge crews. He's instrumental in creating the first use of a plotter and sign-making equipment for the county, pioneering the cost-saving effects of having an in-house sign shop. Yes, Randy is the one who brought the sign shop to making our own signs to Spalding County several years ago. He was promoted to sign shop supervisor in 2017. 2020, Randy became our solid waste supervisor, where he instituted numerous policy changes, training techniques, and cost-saving measures. He is considered an expert in the state in the national MUTCD sign code. He knows the book, all hundreds of pages of it. He's a great asset to the county. He's an accomplished guitar builder, and he ships his guitars all over the world. He had one go out to Germany the other day. France. I was close. He's married to Sharon King. He has 3 daughters, and I know one of the daughters is here this evening as well.
Okay, I'm going to try to censor myself. Sometimes I talk too much. First thing is I started this job when I was less than half the age I am right now. I was 24 years old when I started this job. All I wanted to do was be in a rock and roll band, but that wasn't paying the bills, so I needed a 9 to 5. So I started here. Expected to do a few years, and 25 years later, I've learned a lot of things, done a lot of stuff, worked with a lot of people. I've worked around several county managers, several wardens, several directors, lots and lots of commissioners. All in all, it's been good. You get 5 more years. Mark this date for 2027. I'll be giving my speech. All right, thank you.
Picture time, picture time. Stretch Captain off. You'll step forward into the center. Bring your daughter. Thank you. Okay. Steve, come on up here.
Which Steve? Which Steve first, okay?
Oh, that's just wrong.
Yeah, change please. Yeah, that's, yes, something like this.
Force respect, make it a little bit.
That's so much better though. All right.
Smile, this is important.
All right, families, come on, this is the time, family, get off, everybody who's got somebody with, come on. Yep, 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 yep.
Cheer, you want me to take a picture for you? Yeah, that'd be great. Where you want me? In the back?
That's why I like saying that.
See, I didn't even talk about his jobs on out west.
All right, hold it, hold it.
Hold on.
More people, more people.
Hard time finding spot for a wall.
Come back. Make sure you stay long enough. Ah, there we go. That'll work, that'll work. No, that don't look right.
Okay.
I need some more commissioners over here. Like shift, y'all shift over. Cause all my frames over here ain't nothing over there.
So what do you want?
Come on, over there. Come on, read. Just come on, go that way, yeah. Kenneth, go that way. That way, not you, Steve. Go, Wayne, you get out of there. All right, TJ, Randy, come over. Yeah, I want you guys in the center, in the middle, all four frames in the middle.
You slid over
Yeah.
and did a little.
Right here. No way off. How about this right here? We're gonna take this photo.
I'm sliding back in here after you told me to come out.
I know.
All right, we good, we good.
Right.
All right, everybody, yeah. Appreciate it.
You post something like
Do it right now. They do it right now.
Everybody's over there. This, oh, we need to do some with a peace sign on it.
I think all the administrative portion of moving people around and everything is done. Yes. Item number 5, presentation of financial statement. Consider approval of the financial statement for the 1 month ending July 31st, 2022. Dr. Ledbetter.
Thank you. As you have noticed, Ms. Garrison is not with us this evening. She is away on holiday today. So at this time, I will entertain any questions that you may have concerning the first month of our new fiscal year.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept the financial report for the month ending July 21st, 2022.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Thank you. Discuss the millage rate. Dr. Ledbetter.
All right, a listing of assessments and exemptions consisting of real property, timber, mobile home, motor vehicles, heavy-duty equipment, public utilities. All of this is consistent with how we assess the digest every year. And the digest must be approved by the State Department of Revenue before tax bills can be sent out. Bills must be received 60 days in advance of due dates. Spalding County tax bills are expected to be mailed out October the 1st with a due date of January 1st, 2023. So as you notice, staff is going to recommend this year that we not utilize the rollback millage rate. Rather, we are recommending we keep the same millage rate as the last 2 years. Calculation of the 22 tax bill is detailed in the example below, and it indicates in the far right-hand bottom portion of this particular slide that our net M&O millage from 2012 through 2022, the last 3 years, the millage rate has been 16.138% for the county. And we're recommending that we retain the same millage rate for one very specific reason. And that is the cost of inflation to do service for any company, especially for us, continues to rise because of our inflated economy, the issues that are going on with our economy right now. In fact, I was looking at the information just before we come in to session this evening, and overall there is a 14% increase to our inflation rate for the country right now. So our cost of services are, as everybody recognizes, they are continuing to go up. Please go ahead. Over the next few weeks, staff will be working with our citizen engagement specialist, DeAndre Smith, to share in written form and through video the information for our tax digest and how this decision supports the services we deliver for our neighbors. Some of the questions that we're looking to answer is, how are our taxes calculated? What's included within our tax bill, and how should we read our tax bill? This information will be posted out to our social media sites, our in Spalding TV for our YouTube, and to our website. So our public hearings are scheduled for August the 25th at 5:30 p.m., September the 19th at 11 a.m., and September 22nd at 5:30 p.m. And we will set our millage rate, or we're expecting to set our millage rate on September 22nd at 6 p.m. What we've suggested for consideration this evening, not accepting the rollback, is not set in stone. That is staff's recommendation, and we are asking for your direction as a Board of Commissioners for how we should proceed. But for us making the 3 public hearings, that is a mandate under Georgia law for anything other than not accepting the full rollback. So what we are suggesting is that we continue to push forward with 3 public hearings in anticipation of meeting the inflated rate of services, of paying for services over the next year. As the board will remember, when we balanced our budget, we utilized a little over $7 million of fund balance to balance our budget this year. That's a lot, and I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about the amount of money that we're going to need over the next year to ensure that we're keeping pace with the inflation that's going on in our country. At this time, I'd entertain any questions.
I don't have any question.
All right, so what we're really saying is we're gonna set up 3 public hearings, and on the 22nd at 6 o'clock, we will decide what the millage rate will be. We wanna listen to the people, come into the public hearings, and talk to us about what they think it should be. We all square on that, and these are the dates that we will have.
And then after that, decide what the millage rate's gonna be?
That is correct.
So at a meeting after the 22nd?
The 22nd at 6 o'clock is what we would suggest for setting our millage rate, unless the board would like to call a special called meeting after the 22nd to set the millage rate.
So there will be a public hearing
There will
and
be
then?
there will be a public hearing at 5:30, and then a meeting for zoning public hearing that is already scheduled for 6 p.m., and we will create an agenda item for that meeting specifically for setting the millage rate during that meeting.
Okay, I will definitely be out of town that day.
On the 22nd? Okay, we understand. All right, any other comments or questions about this on what we're doing? This is a big issue for us throughout this, all right?
I think we can save one for those.
I'm sorry?
I think we can save one for those meetings.
Okay, all right.
Mr. Chairman, under citizen comments, there was no one who signed up for this evening.
I will skip citizen comments. Item number 7, consider approval of the minutes of the Spalding County Board of Commissioners special called meeting and zoning public hearing, July 28th, 2022. Consider approval of the Spalding County Board of Commissioners regular meeting, August 1st, 2022. Consider approval of the Spalding County Board of Commissioners special called meeting, August 4th. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Thank you. Consent agenda. Consider on second and final reading the amendment to UDO Article 22 Delta North Expressway Improvement District Overlay, readoption of ordinance with the addition of residential requirements along with accompanying overlay maps. This is, we've done this before, so we're at the final. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
We haven't done,
The first reading.
Yes, we did.
when do we have the first reading?
Last
Yeah, we had the first reading at the
I wasn't
zoning
here.
public hearing.
I wasn't here, okay. I'll second it.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
I do have some questions. Stephanie, where in here, on page 5 of 23, it talks about the front setback, which is 20 feet from the edge of the roadway. And then on the back side of property, it says that the setback is 25 feet. Is there a reason why it's different for the front and the back? And I think it says on the side setbacks is 10 feet. That might be normal, but I was just wondering why 20, because a development could actually have an entryway on the back side. So why would we consider that entry different than what we'll consider coming off of 1941?
Just because your setback on the front is typically going to be different than your back or side, just because that's more aesthetically visible to the general public.
So if someone wanted their entryway off of, say, Georgia 3, they wanted their address to be Highway 3 instead of 19 and 41, then it would be flipped
It
over?
would be flipped because
It would be flipped
that
over.
would be their front door, wherever their
Okay.
front door is.
Yes, ma'am, but we could put a zoning condition that would require a 25-foot buffer against the 1941 corridor.
So, yeah, I mean, I just kind of think if you think it's important enough on the backside to have that leeway from that space where some people park their cars or their other stuff, that it would be consistent to do that in the front. Just that, and then I had the other question, on page 11 of 23, it talked about the lighting. I was not sure if that meant, it was like lighting that would light on to other people's property, or if it were a business, how would that lighting affect a residential, something that was there? Do we specifically need to say that we want that night lighting where the black sky lighting where it doesn't shine anywhere but straight down? I don't see the reference to that. It just kind of says it should be directed away from other people's property, but it's not really specific. And since we're talking about this being a residential overlay, I think it would be very important to people that they wouldn't have, bright light shining from a business that might be close, adjacent to it. So, but there were no specifics about it, so that's what I was asking about on that one.
Yes, ma'am, I had a conversation with Kelly Littlefield earlier today, and we are bringing raising the bar upgrade to our lighting ordinance across the county to you here in the next month or so that will cover this specifically.
So, okay, great. I didn't, and maybe Stephanie, you can tell me, where is it that it shows in this overlay the requirements for putting sidewalks on adjacent roadways? I don't see that in here.
Mr. Galloway actually wrote this ordinance, so.
Oh, okay.
Perhaps Dr. Ledbetter knows where that
We
would be.
did include that, didn't we?
Yes.
Yes, that is included, but it is a part of a separate ordinance that we're bringing to you specifically to address sidewalks on adjacent roadways, not only for 1941, but for any development future coming to the county, because it's not just specifically for the 1941 North Expressway Overlay District, it's for our entire county. So
And I get that, but the Northeast Expressway District, people have been waiting for the past 6 months to either sell or develop. And what we'll end up with is we will have developments that will start without this in it. I mean, let's face it, it takes us 6 months to get anything back from zoning. I'm not trying to be ugly. So for me, I think we need to address this in this specific overlay, which has nothing to do with the rest of the county.
Okay.
So I would feel more comfortable if, in starting our developments on Northeast Expressway, we have expressly said that in that overlay district, we expect sidewalks to be an integral part of the development plan, not just interior sidewalks. That was section 2209D.
If I could piggyback off of that, and I don't mean to single anybody out, not staff, not of our attorneys or anything, but you're right. We ask for things. Hey, I need you to do this. Hey, I need you to write this. Hey, I need you to craft this. And if I got back to a court in that same amount of time, like they'd hold me in contempt and put me in jail. Like if you get back to your boss after that long, your boss goes, I need this 6 months ago. And yet, here we are, once again, going, hey, we've been waiting on this. Hey, we've been waiting on this. Hey, I've been waiting on this. We see movement now happening after, 4 years of asking for it on the zoning stuff. And it's now happening. Now we've met, and look at this. But, why did it take 4 years? Why did it take so long? And, hey, can you rewrite this? Yeah, we will. We'll add it to the list. Well, get it to me. You know what I'm saying? Here we are going like, hey, we need this. Yeah, we'll get there. Hey, I know that we're not your only client, but
We think we are. Our money thinks we are.
our money certainly thinks I am. Yeah, so I don't mean it personally, but it gets a little.
So how far are we looking at, Steve? That's a good question. Since we got an ordinance coming to us to include the 1941, if we were to have Newton do that, it shouldn't take that long then, since we are thinking.
I would not think that it would take long. I can tell you that the lighting ordinance, Kelly walked through as she was leaving this evening. Kelly Littlefield walked through as she was leaving this evening and just reiterated with me while Chairman Davis was standing here that she has the draft of the lighting ordinance being delivered to Newton for review. She's got the draft for the subdivision ordinance being delivered for review to Newton. She's got the draft for the sidewalk ordinance being delivered to Newton for review. So we are working at a staff, and we're putting it in front of Newton for his consideration and wordsmithing, because Newton does a great job at wordsmithing. He gets us in a position where we can defend it. But I don't disagree. We have got to push faster so that we can get this raising of the bar point made
And doing it
very,
right.
very
And
clearly.
doing it right.
That's
'Cause,
correct. We're doing it right.
I also want to point out that Kelly's department is one of the most understaffed and most overutilized, most in-demand departments, and yet, all 4 of these things, she's ready, I need some wordsmithing on it. She's to be commended for how incredibly proactive she's been, coming to each of us. I think she's met with everybody now, and said, hey, let's look at this. I was like a kid with the Sears Roebuck catalog. She rolled that thing out in my office. I was like, oh man, this is cool. So she's just to be commended. I think she's doing a tremendous job.
So let's circle back round to the question.
Well, yeah, will these be on our next meeting? I think that's a pretty easy expectation. We've already got draft, you just need to wordsmith a little bit.
So it'll be the September zoning meeting, probably, it won't make it to the next week.
So,
I'm just saying.
See, that's, the problem with it is, the people who've been waiting for 6 months are now gonna be another month or 2
So,
months.
so that's what I'm saying, if we're creating this district, the rules that we have for this district don't necessarily have to be uniform with what's gonna happen along the rest of the highway. But I'm seeing tons of developments come up, and there's no sidewalk requirement. My prime example, McIntosh Road, down below Camden Road, I drove by there the other day, it's just like, oh my God, like Jackson Highway 75, there's not a single tree left, and I'm sure they have the right to do that. But there's no place to walk, there's mud running everywhere, and there's nothing that says that they're required to have sidewalks for a development that big.
Now, let's stop for a second and say, I'm kind of for pushing this forward, just so everybody knows, because of the timing. Anybody who comes in between has to come to us, and we say, part of the conditions is, you gotta put your sidewalks in. So, in the meantime,
I mean, we've been doing that, but let me just say, I'm really getting tired of having to say that every freaking time that we
it
get
should be a
ready
standard.
We
to
agree.
do this.
we
Yes,
agree.
ma'am, as staff, I can tell you, we are not happy that we have to bring a special exception before the board every single time in order to make that a reality. We need that as a standard operating procedure for how we move forward, and that's exactly what we're looking for as we move these ordinances forward.
So you're saying that sidewalks are a special exception?
For
Right now,
outside,
because we don't have.
outside the subdivision, for adjoining streets, yes, that's a special exception.
Adjacent streets?
Adjacent streets.
Okay, so I'm gonna be sitting here today, and in a month, there will not be any stuff. Because that's how our life has been for the last however many years, 4 years that we've been trying to do this. I'm not trying to be ugly, but we need to fix stuff when we need to fix it. The other thing I wanted to say about, and that's my complaints with this. I mean, I'm not saying don't vote on this today, I'm just saying this is stuff that needs to be fixed. Is that I've had a lot of complaints from people, especially at that development on McIntosh, that the people across the street and beyond that, mostly Pine Tree, are being innovated, run over by wild animals whose habitat has been destroyed. And when we do these developments, I saw even on the Northeast Expressway, we only require people in our developments to make 10% of the entire development green space.
That's too little.
And I think that as a community that has the ability to understand that when you remove the habitat of deer and squirrel and rabbits and foxes, they have to have some place to go. And we're not being good stewards of the earth when we continue to let people completely strip the land dry to build stuff, and there's no place for animals to go. Okay, I'm off my high horse, I'm gonna let y'all have it.
Look,
That was a hormone thing.
no, two things.
No,
You're,
no,
you're,
they're good.
you're,
They're
you're
good
totally
comments.
right about the green space stuff.
Yep.
And the crazy part right now is they combine the green space requirement with their retention pond. And they go, yeah, see, that's our green space. No, that's a retention pond. No, but that's our green space. It should either be, if it's green space, then it's nothing else. It's not the park, it's not an amenity, it's not a walking trail, it's green space. Well, if it's a retention ball, then it's not green space. I think we need to close that up, because people go, see, we have this lovely pond that's a feature, and all this green space, and it's one thing, and you just stack all, well, see, it's everything, it's a McDonald's play place. No, it's not. It's your water runoff pond. Like, don't give me some green space, this is a water runoff pond. I definitely think we should look at that. How about this? How about we set the expectation that in this month's meeting, right, we have at least a discussion over the draft language. She's got the draft language to him. Maybe he comes back and says, hey, this is what I'm thinking. I'm not totally done with it. But then we'll get to see it and say, well, here's some of the holes we want changed. Here's some of the wordsmithing we want done. And then maybe we set the expectation that we have a finished product for that in September.
I think
And
so.
if we don't have a finished product in September, we hire somebody who can do it for us by October.
Because, I mean, kind of like what you're saying, I guess, next week, because we really don't know what he's going to bring to us, I guess. We don't
Sure,
know.
it's not gonna be a finished product.
Or, right, so I'm okay
Not
with
expecting that.
putting that on the agenda, because, like I said, I like to see what he has first, because we don't know. Who knows? He may have it on there, we don't know.
Yep.
You know, but just to kind of see what he's thinking, and then we can have it done in September, or
That way we have the expectation
we don't know.
for the very frankly, well-placed concern of Ms. Flowers Taylor. So if we pass this tonight, and then we've set that expectation of, yes, this is still an issue, and we're gonna hear it really
Set
soon.
amendments. Yep.
He needs that
I'm
to
good
drive
with
next
that,
week.
yeah.
All right, so what we're really saying, we're gonna vote up.
Yeah, we vote
Vote on it,
on
and
this,
then
and then-
amendments to fix the rest of this.
Well, the overlay wouldn't necessarily, because that is gonna go countywide. So that would include this area, so it wouldn't necessarily be an amendment to this overlay district. This overlay district would just be part of that general.
Correct.
And while that's true, I would suggest that you amend the overlay as well,
To be
just
more
because
clear.
when people are looking at your zoning ordinance and they're in the overlay district, that's where they're going. So it will,
Even if we just amend it to say, and you also have to abide by this requirement, you don't have to
Correct.
copy and paste.
Right.
So do we need to even vote on
Okay.
this tonight?
Yes, you have a motion
Yeah,
and
yeah,
a second.
Uh-huh.
Does have to? Okay.
Yeah, one way or the other, we got a motion.
Yeah, I just didn't know if we're gonna move forward with this.
So
tonight.
what are we saying, we feel like it's good to be voted on?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
that part needs to be added, but
And we
I don't
need to
think
get,
this part should
the people who are trying, the developers need
They
help.
need more information than
Right.
what we're giving them.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Thank you. Old business, none. New business, consider request from the Spalding County Parks and Leisure Services Advisory Committee to allow the Macon Tracks Travel Club to take the motor coach to and from Cape Canaveral, Florida, from April 24th to April 28th, 2023.
Good evening.
evening.
Macon Tracks Travel Club is planning ahead, anticipating sometime the arrival of the new motor coach. And in order to get their travel plans together, they have sent a recommendation or a request to the Parks and Leisure Advisory Commission to take the motor coach to Cape Canaveral to allow them to board a cruise ship and then return home after the cruise. And as part of the policy that you all approved, that any out-of-state travel comes before for your approval.
May we ask you a question?
Yes, absolutely.
So what happens to the driver those 4 days?
So
Does
they
he
have-
get to go on the cruise?
They're going to, they're going to invite the driver to go on the cruise with them. In fact, it's a little more affordable for them, for he or she to go on the cruise with them. And if they do, the motor coach will stay there at Cape Canaveral, and then, he or she will bring them back.
I
They
wanna
also
sign up
have
to be the driver.
options.
With the
Well, I have
increased
that
pay.
question. What, I know we gave a bit of a window last time for the increased pay for the driver. What, has that been settled? Is there a
Yes.
contract now? What did that end up being?
Yes. So if the motor coach operator stays and goes on the cruise with them, the cost to Macon Tracks Travel Club will be $1,690, and that will cover.
Does that
No,
include the cost of him going on the cruise?
no, we don't get involved in their reservations.
Okay, they'll pay for that?
Yes. Yes. ma'am.
Okay.
So what does that boil down to as a per hour basis?
Right, is he
So
on
what that-
duty the entire time?
It will be the mileage rate and the driver's time down, and the mileage and the driver's hourly rate back.
Okay, what's the
We do not.
hourly
We
rate?
will not be paying the driver during those days
What's his
on the
hourly
cruise.
salary gonna be? What did you guys decide on the salary?
So we do not have the designated driver yet for this trip. It's not till 2023. So it will either be $22 to $25 per hour, based
Depends on
on
who you get.
based on their experience level.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
You guys ever been down there?
Do we need to vote, do we need to have a say-so as far as the cost of the per rate driver, or do we just, how do we have?
We've already
We-
done.
We will
that-
follow the
that's already been
policy.
taken care of.
Out of their budget.
Okay.
Tell
We
them
will
what to
follow the
fix it.
policy as,
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Thank you, Kelly. Okay. Consider request for an amplification permit for Iris Hernandez to host a baptism celebration at 2160 Rocky Creek Road, Hampton, on August 27th, 2022, from 5 to 10:30 p.m. The Ms. Hernandez application request from 11 p.m. end time for the application. However, staff has advised that will have to be cease application at 10:30 p.m. The issue has to do with the number of hours that we allow. Kelly
Oh,
can
she
approve
only-
4 hours and 59 minutes. Anything over that has to come to us to be able to do it.
Well, isn't
No more.
five? Oh, I
So
see,
this is
4 out of
5.5
50.
hours. Isn't it?
I looked at the property, and it's kind of away from all its neighbors.
I don't have a problem with it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any
It's
more,
not a subdivision. It's not.
any more discussion?
Okay, so that's good, but we had this conversation, I know, in the subdivision, but the timing was a big deal. So I know it's 10:30, normally it's 10 o'clock, so we're good with the 10:30. So we'll have to,
They're out in the woods.
you know what I mean? I mean,
That said, we are waiting on
we wanna be
a better,
consistent.
a better, closed up specific rules about neighborhoods and stuff.
Right, so if you look at the ordinance, and I think I've got it on here. Please forgive me, I didn't run straight to it. The ordinance indicates that,
Ms. Hernandez.
it can go until 11 o'clock, but there were more fees involved in that. Sorry, 10:30. She wanted till 11 o'clock, but we're suggesting 10:30 because we don't want it to go past 10:30. We would prefer it stop at 10, simply because there is one neighbor, but they're 30 acres away. And this particular area is very lightly populated, so we did not see an issue with it. Staff does recommend that we approve the application.
Okay,
Ms. Hernandez, you're good with 10:32, right?
I'm sorry?
You're good with 10:32, right? You're okay with it, the application?
Yeah, that's what I can get.
Fair enough, fair
get it
enough,
approved.
fair enough.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries.
Who did the motion?
I made a motion,
It was
and then.
And I second it.
I'm sorry.
Hope you guys have a lovely celebration.
Yes. Item number 3, consider request from Spalding County Parks and Leisure Services Advisory Commission to continue the MOU with GRPA Boost Program for after-school programming in Spalding County. Dr. Ledbetter.
Ms. Carmichael?
Yes, so we had a great summer with Summer Boost programming. Wanted to share a little bit of data with you. 40% of the students participating increased their sight word recognition. 90% of students went from developing math learners to accomplished math learners. So what this program did actually helped prepare students for this current school year. So it was considered a very successful program. We now move into after-school programming, and they submitted an after-school memorandum of agreement for you. In your packet, you should have a budget impact, some data there. What you'll see is that we have prepared, we have budgeted for this program to continue it as an after-school program. The one thing that you'll see, it says 90% cost recovery. That's because we've included utilities in the cost to operate the program. So everything is covered under Boost except for the utilities. They do not cover utilities as a covered expenditure. The utilities would be operating anyway, so they are budgeted within our greater county budget to operate our community centers, but it's not specifically within the Boost budget.
So you're asking us to move money from your
No.
budget into this?
No, no.
Help me
She's
understand.
just explaining they're being reimbursed for 90% of
Yes.
everything that it costs to run this program.
That's
And the
correct.
10% is actually the utilities
Utilities.
cost, which really is in her general fund budget anyway.
That's correct.
But they have to still list it for the grant because it's
I'm
general
listing
grant.
it for you, for you to see it.
Staff position?
Staff's position is if Ms. Carmichael has the monies available in her grant, or, sorry, in her department budget, I have no issues with that. I just don't want us to go over budget this year, because we are very, very tight, as we talked about earlier in our millage rate discussion.
All right, you have the money inside your budget
For
minus,
utilities. Yes, sir.
and the rest of it you're gonna get from the grant,
Yes, sir.
all right? Do I have a motion to approve?
Yeah, motion to approve. As long as nobody's asking me for more money, I
And
love
it's
saying
a
yes.
successful.
Second.
Yeah, no, it's a great program.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. I'm
Now,
just
Kelly,
gonna
you again?
stay right here.
Yes.
Yes, you are. Consider recommendation from the Parks and Leisure Service Advisory Commission to approve an MOU from the Small Treasures for after-school meal services at Fairmont and City Park. Dr. Ledbetter?
Ms. Carmichael?
Okay, so during the summer, Small Treasures provided 2 meals a day for every child all summer long. We did not have to budget for that service. We did not have to manage any of the data, any of the reporting, any of the accounting of those meals, and they served 9,082 meals this summer. They have been a fantastic partner, a very dependable partner, a well-respected partner, and they are now approved as a after-school program meal provider, which is called the CACFP program through Bright from the Start. Again, they are managing every element of this program, from all of the applications to Bright from the Start, all the approvals from Bright from the Start, all of the accounting, the meal preparation, the meal delivery. So I
We
did
just
not
have
have
to
to
have a
budget.
place.
I do not have a line item in my budget to account for this. They take care of everything. So they will be providing meals to the students who are attending after-school programs at City Park and Fairmont Community Centers.
And so you're just asking for permission
To have the
to
MOU
allow
with them.
them to do that?
Yes, through this memorandum, yes.
Correct. This is just a contract, and staff is real, this makes staff's job a lot easier when there's no budget requirements and there's no budget expenditures from the county side for us to recommend approval for this line item.
Those are all my questions.
Yeah. All right, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, discussion?
Yeah, those are my questions, was like, wait a minute, why isn't this already budgeted? Why, oh, because it's free.
Too bad it's an annual, I mean, we could kind of extend it like 2 or 3 years, I'm just saying.
Come on now.
All these Fed grants, man, you gotta,
All right,
they make you come back to the trough every time.
Yes.
all those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. Thank you again, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Item number 5, consider request from Parks and Leisure Services Advisory Commission to reduce the number of members required to conduct business from 7 to 5. Dr. Ledbetter.
Mr. Chairman, the staff is going to recommend that the Board of Commissioners table this agenda item until the September meeting in collaboration with item number 6 that will come up here in just a moment.
Motion to table.
All right, I have a motion to table. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by raising your hand.
Ryan K.
5-0. Motion is tabled. Thank you. Item number 6,
You missed it, the spot.
instruct the county manager to work with the county attorney to utilize guiding principles and guidelines outlined in the Park and Leisure Services Commission resolution to return to the Board of Commissioners an overarching resolution with governing rules, regulations, and policies for all Spalding County appointed boards. Dr. Ledbetter?
So having a conversation with the county attorney, Ms. Stephanie Wyndham, we believe that the overarching policy guidelines that were presented back in 2018 for the Parks and Leisure Advisory Commission are actually a wonderful way for us to manage our boards, not just for the Parks and Leisure Services, but for the other boards that we have that work for you and for us. So we would request that you afford us a month to go away and pull all of this material together for your consideration. That will include a discussion on what the right number for a quorum for the Parks and Leisure Advisory Commission should be, and working with them and getting some more information from them. Sitting here and having a conversation with TJ just a bit ago, there are some questions that I had that I would really like to have answered, but I think that utilizing this resolution would be beneficial for all of us. Thoughts?
That was my thought when Megan sent it to me, was this is what our other boards need, because so many of them do not have these guiding principles, and PLAC has a resolution that it enacted in 2018, and we're gonna actually bring that back to you next month, along with the change in the quorum number. Now, there are gonna be some things for each board that may need to be tweaked. I mean, the quorum number, for example, is gonna depend on how many are actually on that board and how many actually show up, because we need to make sure that they're able to get business done.
So the problem that brought us here is for the last 2 years, we've had a definite problem with being able to attain a quorum. And I think it's really bad because each commissioner has appointed 2 people to serve on that board. And we had gotten to the point, I think one time we reduced the quorum to 5, and then we couldn't get enough people there to do it. And then before this last change that we recommended,
It was
the
members
quorum was
present.
actually whoever was at the meeting. So if 2 people was at the Park and Rec meeting, that's who was making the decisions. Now, we have this great overarching plan, as you say, but at the end of the day, if people that we ask to serve on the board don't come to the meeting,
Well, one of the things that I noticed when I was reviewing PLAC's resolution was that it also had an item in there about how many meetings you can miss before you're removed. And that is something that we definitely lack with most of our appointed boards. You appoint them and they're on there for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and you never say that they actually have to show up.
I think that's a big deal. I think if they're not allowed to miss, let's say 2 to 3 meetings.
I mean, we have that
people
for
say
the
consecutively, what have you.
GSBTA. Those are our rules as well.
That
You know,
is
if you
correct.
can't come to the meeting, you know, it's okay if you can't come. Just let somebody else come.
But I think that's a solution to do that, and then it's brought back to us, whoever that person is, to appoint someone else.
And of course, we'll tweak these for every board, but I looked at it and thought this was a great starting place for us.
And we see this as a great starting place for the guiding principles, but it also falls in line with our letters that are sent out to all of our current board members to put them on notice that we want to know whether or not they want to retain their board position. And if they don't, then we have an opportunity between now and the end of the year to actually locate those individuals within our community that want to be a part of these boards. So this is great timing for us, and we would very much appreciate the opportunity to bring that back to you next month.
This would just be for boards that we appoint, right?
That
So
is
not
correct.
like the water board or the
No.
airport authority.
No, we do appoint people to the, okay, so boards, not authorities.
Not authorities.
Not authorities.
Yeah, like
Okay,
boards that we control that we've.
Planning
that's
commission.
leisure services, planning,
Appeals,
Board of
Board of
Zoning Appeals,
Appeals,
that's
so-
correct.
so that's it, 3 boards.
I think that's,
We got a whole book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a couple more, but
there
I
may
need to
be
go back
the,
and take a look.
Personnel.
Yeah, that's correct.
appeals, Ethics, there may be a number of.
Right, boards where people, they don't meet.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know,
But still,
Okay.
This is a crazy request, and I don't know if we can do it. But can we have them take an oath, and once they're appointed?
I think it gives it more gravitas
Yeah.
to do that, even
Yeah.
if,
And if they don't wanna do it,
Because, I mean, if you take an oath, you know, I mean, that's more of a real commitment there.
well, it's the same reason why they had these induction ceremonies with Rotary and Kiwanis and the Masons and everything else, to like, hey, you're buying into
Right.
this thing,
Yes.
you're committing to
If
do
we're
this,
able
it's
to
not
do it.
just, well, I'm here, here's your agenda, like, it gives it more of a, now you're official, you've raised your hand. I
here
think
was
it's a good
my
idea.
thought. Let's talk about in January. Remember, we had the January class. We need to have it, I think, I would like to see this kind of put into here. We need to have it, as far as I'm concerned, twice a year. In January, we have people stand up, hold up their hand, and take the oath right then and there to be able to do it. And if they don't want it, they know ahead of time, we'll tell them ahead of time they're gonna do it. And if they say, I can't do that, then fine, we'll find somebody else that wants to be able and can meet those requirements. So I'm saying, in January, we have a big, over at the Service Center, Senior Center, and people stand up there and take the oath and say yes, and then we do the class, and then I say we also, so everybody knows, say we do it again in July or something like
Kinda
that.
hold everybody responsible, and how we get done with your oath. Yeah.
And get more education onto it. So, I don't know how to put that in there if we can, but at least among ourselves, we need to agree, yep, we're going to do, oath is a great idea, we'll do it in January for all members that we appoint to our committees, and then in July, teach the class, and in July, we'll do it again, a makeup or an advanced class or whatever.
Ms. Carmichael had actually suggested that, I apply to give that presentation at the Leisure Services Statewide Association meeting, so I'm doing that in November.
Nice,
Cool.
nice.
Good, and we need to, so,
Well,
all right,
people who are coming off these boards or just every year with the board, like, we should invite them to the meetings. And like, that swearing in might should be here. Hey, thank you for volunteering to be on this board. And then we kind of stagger
There's a
that,
whole
so it's
bunch of
not
people.
one meeting, so it's not,
isn't that a whole bunch of people, Kathy? Yeah, that's a whole bunch of people.
there just needs to be more recognition for, hey, I mean,
Like when they get their certificates or something?
something, I don't know. I
The
don't
other
know how
thing
to-
we wanted to do, if you remember,
never
we
figured
haven't
it
got
Do you
there
think
yet.
that's gonna make people show up at the meeting? That's what I'm worried about, whether or
Well,
not they're
that's-
gonna come
You know what?
when it's time to have the meeting.
Well, if
If
they're
they
not gonna
don't
show up
come-
at the meetings, and they're not gonna show up here, they're not gonna show up anywhere then.
And we turned around and say,
I mean,
with
well, then we got
that,
the
with
wrong
the
people.
75% rule, you gotta make 75% or whatever number.
Right.
Then we have something that we can turn around and say to them in mid-year, thank you for your, we see you're not gonna be able to make it, so,
We'll worry about you, yeah.
all right. Remember also, we talked about bringing in chairman of our boards.
No, I don't remember that.
We talked about, okay.
Chairman's board?
We talked about chairman of our boards coming in and talking to us about how their board was doing.
Yeah,
Okay,
that was a
yeah,
thing.
Okay,
Coming in
I
kinda-
remember.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
chairmans of our boards, what boards were that? Leisure Services?
And just coming in and kind of going, hey,
Planning
this is what we're
commission,
looking at.
all of that stuff, if there are any issues going on, we talked about doing that. I had thought during this year, we would get that moving. We have not been able to get that moving. That needs to be something, in my opinion, that, if chairmen are having a problem, we need to know about it.
Or if they want to say, boy, my board's doing great, I want to give them
Whoop,
high
could be
fives
2
all
minutes,
around.
could be, I think we have an obligation, and the chairmen have big-time responsibilities, and their only way to do anything is to come to us. That's the authority they have. They really don't have any authority other than us getting involved.
But the chairman of the board has no more authority than any of the other board members, so, I'm just kinda saying, you clearly can become the chairman and not really know how to run a meeting. Because that's how people have learned how to run a meeting here, you throw them in as a chairman, cause they didn't come to the meeting, and then they learn how to do it. So I just want us to be careful that we don't create a situation where you basically have to apply to be on the board, and you have to meet this resume, because a lot of great ideas and a lot of great strategies have come from people that we have least expected would provide that information. And
Well, the resume requirement is
Already
willingness to be there. Like it's not an
And we have
educational
that
requirement
anyway.
or.
We
Yeah,
have the resume
You have to
with
fill
on
out the form,
application.
send it to us
Yeah.
already. All right.
Okay.
So do we have a motion on this?
Nope, no,
Yeah,
I'm just
just
looking for
talking.
consensus.
Yeah,
All right. Okay.
as long as it's just for the boards that we.
Yes,
All right, thank you
Uh-huh.
very much.
okay, you have your guidance.
I do.
You too, okay. Consider a memorandum of understanding with the Fayette County to provide 911 mutual aid should either county request assistance.
When the sheriff.
This is,
Rico, you're up, sir. Welcome.
yes,
Make this nice, short, and
Hey,
sweet for you
Rico.
guys. Good evening. How's everyone doing? This MOU is going to be in reference to us providing mutual aid to both Spalding County and Fayette County in the event that either system has an interruption or severe failure, to where that the PSAP will still function in the capacity of 911, so that each county, in the event that we have to establish a secondary site for Fayette County, or Fayette County has to establish a secondary site for Spalding County, the services will not go uninterrupted for the citizens.
Didn't this happen the other month? It wasn't like
Uh,
Fayette down with COVID or something and we had to.
Yeah, their system actually got struck by lightning, so,
Oh, that was what it was.
yeah, they were actually at our center for approximately about 6 hours.
And kudos to Rico and his whole team. They did a wonderful job at bringing the Fayette County dispatchers into our system. And we worked both Spalding and Fayette County for 6 hours. That's phone calls coming into the center and dispatch radio going out. So kudos to your whole team.
I would just love to, make you spend time trying to explain to me how you switch the switch to make it be Fayette County, but I really don't wanna know that much. But what I do wanna know, Rico,
Yes.
is this the same kind of mutual aid agreement we have with Pike and Butts and the other counties? Do we have it with the other counties bringing us?
Fayette is the only one we have the established MOU with, but everybody else has been working off of as you could say, a professional courtesy agreement. Whereas if you're called upon, you're requested to accept their 911 calls and pass it along in accordance.
Okay.
Can we?
So
can
we're
we
looking
try
to
copy and
establish
paste this
that
one
with-
and talk to them about doing exactly this with the other guy?
Pike.
Yes, absolutely, we can. The reason that we do it so well between us and Fayette County is because Fayette County is a nationally accredited organization, and they require that we do the mutual aid up front with them. The other counties are not, but we work under state mutual aid agreements with them. Rico and I have had conversations about our 911 facility coming up on national accreditation, so that we are doing all of the things that are required under the national accreditation standards. And Fayette is already there. This is a great model for us to follow, not only with Pike County, but Butts County and Lamar and Coweta County. But this is the model that we will use moving forward.
I think that's a great idea.
Both county attorneys have reviewed it and made revisions and approve it as to form.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
I do have one more question.
Yes, sir.
On the date of the awesome training where we blew up a plane, we were sitting there and there's this plane's on fire, right? And we were gonna blow it up. And, there was a small betting pool going on as to how many 911 calls we were gonna get that day, despite all the effort to broadcast, hey, this is a drill, this is a drill, this is a drill. And I never got the number. What?
We were
I wanna know
actually
about
under.
Under. See, I guessed over. Way to go, Spalding County for getting the word out. Okay. All right, I'll take you to lunch one day, I guess.
Did we ever hear back from any of our Fayetteville counterparts with this, like with a letter of gratitude or something?
I actually received a phone call from County Manager Steve Rapson, and he was very thankful for the support that we offered to Fayette County. And he wanted me to make sure that I reiterated that with Rico.
Good job, Rico.
All right. All those in favor, the MOU, please raise your hand. 5-0. Thank you, Rico.
All right, thank you.
Consider request from Spalding County Public Works to approve a task order form for sidewalk construction plans in preparation for bidding out this project. Director Imberger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. This is part of the approved sidewalk T-Splosh plan for bringing sidewalks from Popular Street to 362 down Carver Road. This will be the task order form to develop the construction plans and bid documents, bid administration, and construction management from Paragon Consulting Group.
In addition to the task order form that Paragon has put together for the county, we have also separated those costs out for the city, and I've had conversations with City Manager Jessica O'Connor for their portion of the sidewalk so that there's uninterrupted sidewalk all the way up and down Carver Road.
This is touchdown for us, you know. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
I have a question.
Do I have a motion to approve first?
Motion to approve.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All right, discussion?
I wanna know why I couldn't ask my question before you got a motion and a second.
Because
It
after
has to be
motion,
done via discussion.
yes, discussions are.
Not when I'm talking to staff. Am I out of order, Stephanie?
You guys have done it both ways for so
What's the
long
correct
that,
way?
no, you're not out of order.
I mean, when staff makes a presentation, you
chairman's
should be
not
able to
out of order.
ask questions before the question is called for. But anyway, I'm gonna let y'all have it. TJ, I would like to know why we have picnic tables, pavilions, and shade structures listed on this sidewalk thing.
Yes, ma'am. That'll be one of the areas that you'll be able to rest. There'll also be some a water fountain there. We
On the
assume that.
sidewalk, TJ,
Excuse me.
on the sidewalk?
Yes, ma'am. We believe there'll be a lot of folks using this for physical fitness and access to the park, which will also include children. So we felt that was a good rest stop for them, and it's a good trailhead because this will be designed to be used as a trail for both access to the fire, Griffin High School, the park, and also for exercise.
I'm just not feeling that. I just think that's some extra that's going on. If you're gonna put a pavilion and a fountain on North Hill Street, when you put a sidewalk out there, and when you put one all the way down Spalding Street going to the park, then I'll understand that that is the true format. But in terms of us putting a sidewalk, I'm just at a loss for having to have a pavilion and a water fountain and picnic table on the sidewalk. And I'm not fussing at you, but this is the first time that I've seen this, and I wanted to know if this is a roadmap, are we doing this on every road?
We can
Because-
look at that everywhere. Yes, ma'am. We can do that. Now, Hill Street will probably be a little bit more difficult because we don't have the land like we do at Carver Road. So it's a great opportunity for us to show what a trailhead will look like. I'm sure that will definitely be part of the plan as we go through East Griffin as well, because we'll be able to access some more land.
So where's the plan for the trail? I'm trying to figure out how we get a trailhead when we don't have the trail yet.
So the
Where's
concept.
the overall, the overarching plan, as Steve says? Tell me about it, TJ.
Sure. So if we start at the north end, which is a Popular Street, we'll tie into the city sidewalks there at that intersection at Carver Road and
Excuse me,
Popular.
is there a form in here somewhere that shows us this, what you're saying?
I-
Concept?
Do you have the concept plan?
I don't think so.
I thought it was, it's not in this one, it's in
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying when the
No, I-
sidewalk goes someplace else, if we have a general plan that covers all sidewalks, then I'm fine if that's what we're gonna do. But if you're gonna set the bar high, which I think this is, then it needs to be set high everywhere. That needs to be a trend that works everywhere, not just on Carver Road.
I totally agree. When we were looking at the concepts last week for North Hill Street, we were talking about how close in some places the sidewalk was, and I made sure that we are addressing that so that we have the same safety levels we do when we design all of our sidewalks.
I don't have a drawing. So is your plan to have that on each one of those three areas that we're doing?
Well, like North Hill Street, we don't have the land. We don't own any land like we do at Carver. Carver is an excellent location to show what we would like this to look like. to show what the trailhead looks like because we have a lot of land to our access. When we go to East Griffin, I'm sure that we'll be able to access land as well. It's a little bit more difficult North Hill because we've got a lot to look at in reference to our utilities, the traffic, our right-of-way. The topography is completely different in North Hill Street. There's going to be a lot of challenges there.
So is this going to be an exception at North Hill Street to what we're normally doing, i.e. Carver? The two of them are going to have these extras on it. North Hill Street is the exception because we don't have the land?
Well, now that we know that this is the exact direction we want to take, we could definitely look that over and take a look at what's available. Because we could definitely work with the city as well and see if there's anything that's available to get unique and creative.
This is extra money.
Yeah.
This is, let's, we're trying to get the sidewalks. We know how much money we've got to be able to do it. And working our way through, when we get to North Hill Street, it's gonna be, we put in, I think, $3 million, if I remember off the top of my head.
That's correct.
We're gonna use $500,000, and then North Hill Street's gonna end up a couple $1 million, I believe, to get up that because of how bad that is for us.
Well, I mean, from where I'm sitting, it doesn't matter to me about the topography. If a place is dangerous, you need to put sidewalks that they should be there. And whatever that costs, whether it's going over a ravine or going down into a culvert or going over it with a wooden bridge, which clearly we're gonna do some of that on Carver Road. But I'm just saying, when I saw these expenses, I'm thinking, where did this plan come up with? And then in my brain, I'm trying to see where on Carver Road that is in relationship to where the park is. Is it gonna be at the park? Is it gonna be up by the 1888 Mills close to Carver Road? Where in proximity to our park is this little
So we'll be crossing into the park. All my notes are over there. Right about where the fire station is. We'll cross from the west side to the east side. Then we need to get over a stream. So we had to go to the other side irregardless. So when we go over that stream is where you'll find the trailhead. And then we'll have to go back to the west side on the other side of the park.
Okay.
So the dog park's here, and like
The dog park's,
is here, and then the fire.
so the trailhead will be close to Carver, dog park's over here.
So this is turned into a trail, not a sidewalk, because I think for myself, if I am walking up Carver Road, I'm not gonna walk through the dog park just cause they got a sidewalk to get up to the next 75 feet.
So we'll be closer to the road because we have to cross because there's a ravine. There's about a 72-inch cross drain right there. So it's better to cross that on the east side with the walking bridge than it is to go on the west side. Actually, I think I've got two 72-inch cross drains that go underneath Carver Road right there. So all the actual design is based on the least resistance for utilities, for cross drains. This is the least expensive way to run from 362 to Carver Road. If you'd like to take out the trailhead, obviously we just need to do that. That's very simple to do.
I'm just trying to move people, you wanna see that move? I'm trying to move people, get us to move people, not that it's not nice, but people are not gonna walk off the main road to go up into the park just to be on sidewalk to get another 2 blocks up the street.
Right. The sidewalk will need to go in that direction, the trail, that way, no matter what we do, we could eliminate all of the trailhead stuff, including the water fountain.
I'm just one vote, y'all do what y'all want.
No. I think that this is an issue. I'm concerned about the $3 million getting us as far as we need to be able to go with the sidewalks. The expenses of it are increasing, and we have a very specific, once we get to $3 million, we're done. Wherever that is, this isn't going beyond it. We've agreed that T-Splosh is going to do up to $3 million. Once we get to $3 million, it's not like anything else where we decide, oh, we'll just cost overrun.
We got a motion in a second, so, I mean, just call for the question.
Okay?
Hold on.
I think you got a call for the question.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a motion in a second. I'm saying we need to call for questions. That's it.
Well, are you still trying to talk?
No, I didn't call for the question. I was telling you to do it, but we're still in discussion, so let's discuss.
So this was pitched as sidewalks. I always feel we are always so in sync, me and you, Gwen. This was pitched as sidewalks. And how much extra is this extra? You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't just a sidewalk that goes down Carver. This is a whole kind of park we're creating here. Like,
Right.
that extra money, you know, like we're talking about, I mean, I know that the T-Splosh can only be spent on this, but like, here we are going, oh, why not just, we can add that to there, when we've got a jail that's in desperate need of help, when we've got, you know, a courthouse that's bursting at the seams. You know what I'm saying? I get that T-Splosh money can't be spent on that, but like, this was pitched and sold as sidewalks, not, hey, a sidewalk that happens to go through a cool park on like, that wasn't part of the T-Splosh. And we sat here and said, T-Splosh is for transportation. This is needs. The one want was Big Blue. Everything else is sidewalks and roads and resurfacing, and that's it. And here we are gonna build 2 shade locations and, you know, a diversion from a road and a bridge and a, you know what I mean? Like this, we're straying from the purpose in, if not the first, the second part of the thing. You know, the first maybe it was the resurfacing that we've already started. But here we are in the very first sidewalk thing, and it's like, hey, we got sidewalks, but here's this thing. Like, I worry about that. I worry about having sat here and said this is needs, and yet here we come with shade areas. And
We agreed.
don't
we
get me
weren't
wrong, I
gonna
think it's a
get it-
cool thing, but
So
that's
we-
not what we pitched.
So we've got Brian Upson with Paragon with us this evening, and he's indicating that, that cost for the additional pavilion and the additional trail would be approximately $60,000. Correct.
So my question is, what is the difference, what would have, the trailhead and all that aside, if that sidewalk had just gone down the street, what would that cost have been? That's kinda what I'm, like, from point A to point B,
Yeah, I mean,
straight line.
is that 435? You know, if it's
Yeah.
just 60?
Yeah, it's 60 out of the 495.
Oh, I just see, well, I was looking at 352.
It'll come out of the county share. 'Cause that's
Yeah,
the
that's
county
strictly
side.
county,
Yeah.
so you're talking about from 495 down to 435 for the county portion. Roughly, plus or minus.
Look, again, it's not one of these things that I'm against the idea of the project, but this is kind of scope creep. And we've seen some scope creep and, you know, hey, these are great ideas. It's only this much more. When you pitch it in the right way, it sounds very reasonable. Sheriff, can you come up here for just a second? Sheriff, what are our deputies making right now?
Detention officers are about, about 46 certified officers, or about 48 to 49.
I mean hourly rate.
Breakdown by the hour, I don't have that number on the top of my head.
Okay. Is it close to 22 an hour?
It's probably fairly close to that, one way or the other.
Okay.
The problem, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, kinda like what you said a while ago, I got a jail sitting out there that's falling apart. I ain't seen 600 people have to live on a sidewalk or in a park. I got 600 people in that jail out there that's falling apart around them, and 100 employees that are in and out of that building on a daily basis, and we're talking about sidewalks. And that's a real hard pill to swallow. They sat here the other day from the NAACP. I have a great working relationship with them. And it's been brought to the forefront, and it's not going to go away.
Yeah.
I don't care how much you polish it or how much you try to ignore it, it's right there front and center. And sooner or later, it's gonna come back and bite all of us. Because if I'm not mistaken, Ms. Wyndham, case law says that the sheriff's office occupies the building, but the building is the responsibility of the Spalding County.
That's right.
That's correct.
That's right.
That's correct.
So when the lawsuit comes to me, I'm gonna spread the love.
We've got housing units over there with 90 inmates that are, 2 stories. And the thing that keeps the 2 guards safe from these 90 inmates, some are pre-conviction, most are pre-conviction, some are post-conviction. We're talking murderers that are gonna spend the rest of their lives in prison, is a green line of tiles on the ground.
And a wooden desk that's homemade.
And we're paying those guys the same thing that we're paying a bus driver to go down on a cruise to Cape Canaveral.
And I'm telling you right now, when employees across the county found out that we have an employee who is gonna be going on a cruise, everybody's gonna want a cruise. I know I got 100 employees out there gonna want one.
Nobody's shooting at our bus driver. You know what I'm saying? We've got deputies on the road going to domestics in the middle of the night.
Sooner
Know
or
what they're
later,
walking into.
the board in this entire county is gonna have to face the fact of that jail out there. And we're gonna have to stop with all the stuff we're playing around with, and we gotta work on needs. And I'm not Chicken Little, I'm not letting the sky fall, but I'm telling you, all it's gonna take is one lawsuit, and it's coming. And a lot of the work that we could have done to get it done, and we're working. We're waiting to get bids back to do something about the plumbing out there. We just got a $50,000 grant to put ventilation fans in out there. But you can only paint it so many times. You can only paint it so many ways.
Yep.
And when you're working below ground level with what we came into in 2017, when we walked in the door out there, there's only so much you can do to it to make it livable and make it better.
So we inherited the same problem you
Yes,
inherited.
ma'am.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So long as everybody understands.
Yes, ma'am.
And there is
And
discussion.
secondly,
I want everybody to know, I'm not blaming this on the Board of Commissioners. I'm not blaming this on y'all at all, because I think in a lot of ways, some of y'all have been out there and you've seen it, and you realize the hand that you were dealt and the things that were happening out there that y'all didn't know about.
Yep.
And it's so far down the drain, it's gonna cost a lot of money to get it back to where it's livable again. And I think all of you realize that. So I'm not trying to pit me against the Board of Commissioners.
Yeah.
It's facts that have to be said out loud sooner or later by somebody. And I don't feel this is an adversarial thing between the sheriff's office and y'all.
I'm just saying, I'm
Yeah.
just making my point, because in terms, for yourself, we still gotta do roads, we still
Right.
gotta do sidewalks. This,
Right.
that has nothing to do with you. I'm totally in the same car with you.
Mm-hmm.
You need a new justice system. It's not gonna happen on a splosh. We need to go ahead and do some bonds and build a system. But at the same time, in order to do that, we have to raise taxes to do that. So that is the hard pill that nobody is trying to swallow. But I'm right there with you. And I mean, I may not be here in 1 or 2 years, but I would raise my hand for it because I know we need one.
Well, I can honestly say, after I went into office, you were the first one that came out there and walked through the jail. And I saw the look on your face when you walked out.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's
Yeah.
disgusting. But let's not confuse apples with oranges.
Right.
We can do something about the problem at the jail. We just have to have enough cojones to do it. I mean, we don't need to keep talking about it. It is only one thing that we can do to make that happen. My hand is up. I'm telling you already, whenever you call for it. So nobody else asked me about, am I gonna vote for the money for the bonds for the jail? Whenever somebody else is ready to do it. What we talking about now is sidewalks. Don't get mad about it.
Oh, no,
We
no,
don't work on your jail,
Mhm.
but I'm saying it out in public.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what needs to happen in order for it to happen. We can't spliced it on or
Right.
spliced it on. That doesn't happen yet.
Right.
It needs to be a firm commitment, not just from us, but from the community, to pay for a new jail.
And I understand the SPOS concept. I got that. That money has to be spent on those particular projects that were
Yeah.
voted on and funded by that SPOS. I understand that more than
Yeah.
anybody else. But there's a lot of things that happen in the background and a lot of things that happen around the fringes
Yeah,
where money gets thrown in here, money gets thrown in there,
yeah.
where maybe some of that money needs to be thrown towards the jail.
I feel you. I totally feel you.
There is really good news around both our communications about solving that problem permanently, and from the state, both from ACCG and back, that I really think we're gonna get to pioneer a J-SPLOST idea soon. And I think there's some really great ways to really help law enforcement, both at the jail and otherwise, here in Spalding County. And we just need to let the state let us do it. So, that said, there's plenty more that we could do as well.
So since we're already
When we're
off
on that
track, let me just make it clear to you that by the time we help ACCG come up with what a J-SPLOS would be, and then submit that to the legislature, we already gonna be sued. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
We talking 3-4 years already. I would say if it happened lickety split 2 years. Okay, then you gotta see if a J-SPLOS would pass. I'm just saying, I would rather us commit to spend the money, and then you do a J-SPLOS and pay that money off. But if we're waiting for something to drop, I'm gonna be gone by the time that happens.
And I'll probably be gone too. But I want to reiterate to everybody, media and everybody, this is not adversarial between the
No.
commissioners and me. We're all on the same sheet of music.
This is such a big number. You
It
know,
is,
this
absolutely.
This is $70 million order of magnitude
Now, this is like
It's about
$170
yeah, it's about
million.
120 at least. Yeah.
for both of them, yes.
But the bottom line is we're gonna have to put up or shut up.
And this is huge amounts of money
And the way we
that
do
we're
it,
talking
we gotta
about.
be willing to do it. I'm with you on that, Glenn.
I mean,
It's not a question of, are we willing to do it? It's a question of, how are we going to do it? We
Oh,
don't
well-
get to say yes or no, it's just how. Like,
Well, we would rather do it on our own
We control the
than to
how.
have the federal government come in here and say you're going to
We
do it.
control the how.
Yeah,
The Board of
right.
Commissioners controls the how.
Yeah.
But,
We do.
but there is no if, it's gotta happen.
Yeah, we control it.
Thank you.
okay, you gonna release the sheriff from coming up here and getting that up now?
Thank you.
Thanks, Daryl.
Okay, Brian, I guess the thing is we need a straight sidewalk.
Yes, ma'am.
Well,
That's the bottom line.
can we, because this is we're creating the task order form for the request for proposal, right? Like, this is steps away, right?
Well, what you charged me to do initially was create a concept plan and a cost estimate. And so we have the design to about 30% in order to get a good cost estimate.
Oh, I see.
And then you can determine, at that point, you would determine whether you wanted to move forward or not. And we wouldn't spend all the money just designing it, and then, you know, I was just trying to be efficient with the money to say,
But
let's
you're
get
saying the
enough
bottom-
work.
The bottom line is the $60,000. That's the difference in what we're talking about.
Well,
correct?
yeah, the park is really not a big design feature. It was just laid out. You know, TJ and I talked, and he wanted to add that component. We just added it in. But, you know, it's about 60,000 when you take out structures. Because we've got a pavilion in there, we've got that's really not a big design effort. It's just mainly construction costs.
$60,000 isn't a lot. I'm talking
No.
about the amount that it costs to put pavement up into the park instead of right on the street.
Well, the 60,000
have people
takes.
bid for both? This is,
Well, we can
what
add
we
an
would say
alternate.
if it
We
was
can,
this
we
and
can
if
put
you
an
wanted-
alternate in the bid, and you can accept it or reject it. So,
do that?
the base bid would be strictly the sidewalk, and all the components necessary to build the sidewalk, grading, piping, all those things that critical to building the sidewalk, no frills. And then we'll add the park component as an alternate. Who knows, it may come back cheaper. You may say, I've got another stream of money I can
So,
put to that.
maybe we put the T-Splosh just for this, and we go, hey,
Or,
what
and
if?
maybe we could look at, and I don't know, asking for impact fees, or I know TJ doesn't wanna go to Department of Natural Resources to get a trailhead grant. I know you hated doing that before. But maybe we can look at, not kill the plan of
Right.
doing that there, but look at other resources
We
to
can
pay for that.
put the whole thing in the package. but strictly create an alternate for the park components. So you will have a base bid of just the sidewalk, which is what you were talking about originally, and then you'll have another add-on price.
We did that for the aquatic center, remember? They had the money off to the side, we added it in or took
So
it
then
out.
you would, the second part of that sidewalk project would be the sidewalk that goes up into
Yeah, that's the pavilion, that's the trailhead.
I mean, I like that. I mean, because it would give us a base idea and it gives us a minute to look at where that $60,000 extra could come from to do that. But I'm just interested in people getting straight down the street, you know, walking
But-
to a K. Roger grocery store.
Right.
That's what the T-Splosh money is for.
Yes.
And if we do other things, maybe it's impact fees, maybe it's something.
So when I get bids back, I'll come to you, we'll explain the base bid, you'll know what the alternate costs, and then you can determine where you wanna go from there. Accept just the
So,
base
I
bid, or
wanna
you can
say
add the
for
alternates.
record that TJ, I love you. You know I'm not fussing at you, but I didn't see this before, or else I would have asked you about it before then. I'm sorry.
I just don't wanna run out of T-Splosh money and
Yeah,
have
I
half
agree.
a mile left of somebody
Alright,
that
so-
gets sidewalks who goes, but wait a minute, you got a park over here, you didn't get to my house, you know?
We'll approve this with alternate
With an alternate
add-on,
concept.
add-ons to be able to do it. All right,
You need a revised motion.
Okay.
Well, it's just a task order,
I
right?
made the
I was
motion.
gonna vote, I was gonna
I'll
vote on
amend
the
my
original,
motion.
so somebody else revise it. Somebody else do it.
Okay, you gotta undo your,
I'm not gonna undo it.
You were my second, right? I was my motion, wasn't it?
No,
No, it was
Rita
Rita.
made the motion, James made the second. So are you gonna rescind your motion or leave it where it
I'm
stands?
leaving where it is.
okay, so she made a
So
motion
so
to
we can
approve.
basically deny it, you can deny the motion and go back
Right,
and do
right.
it.
I'll second it for the purpose of.
No, it's already been
James
already
has
been-
already
James has already
seconded.
seconded.
James can rescind his second, or you can vote on the motion as it stands.
I mean, you got the numbers.
We
so vote.
we vote this one down and then we make
Yeah.
another motion
All right,
for the duel.
all those in favor signify by raising your hand. 1, all those opposed, like sign, 4. All right,
All right, I make a motion that we. How do I word this?
Accept the TOF with the original plans and then have an alternate plan that will cover only
the additional.
sidewalks. So this
Sure,
is the original plan, but we wanna have the additional plan, that's just sidewalks from one end.
Or kind of backwards, like have one that's the base and then
then
also
one
have
that
the
has the
additional.
extra,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
So whose motion is that? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That would be his motion
it's
I
clearly
made
my
for him.
we didn't even see his mouth move. All right, we have
just so
we have the James motion, who seconded?
I do.
We have a second, all right, any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 4, all opposed, 1. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, item number 10, 9, excuse me. Consider approval of Building 10 property for construction as part of Butts and Spalding intergovernmental agreement. Dr. Ledbetter.
This is a affidavit reaffirming the intergovernmental agreement with Butts County for the construction of building number 10 inside of River Park. This is just us indicating that we still have the IGA in place.
Yep.
And building 10 is actually 90%
Yeah, this is the one that's
inside
in us.
of Spalding County. That is correct.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Yeah, motion to approve.
Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
I've been staying pretty on top of this project, both as the representative to the Development Authority, but also because, I don't know, that kind of stuff's my jam, so, like, it's really, they're rocking and rolling over there. Like, it's really gonna be a great project, I think.
Okay,
I have a question.
Commissioner?
So, the part of our agreement, this is just agreeing for us to allow them to construct in Spalding County, because I'm just saying, what are our responsibilities other than the fire station that we said we were gonna build?
Actually, we're not building a fire station. The agreement calls for us to pay for a fire truck or to contribute to a fire truck.
Oh,
That is
how
the-
did I get that mixed up?
Initially, Butts County asked us to pay for a firefighter in perpetuity, and we brought that back to the board, and we made the decision that that is not what we wanted to do. We were not going to pay for a fire station or a fire construction part, because that was more money than the board was willing to expend. But we would be willing to contribute toward the purchase of a fire truck. That is the only thing that we are contributing for River Park, even the portion that's on Spalding County side. Butts County is laying the asphalt, laying the water lines, the sewer lines, and all the additional infrastructure at their cost, not ours. So I think we made a really good deal for the work that we've got going on inside of Butts County. There are 3 buildings that will eventually be inside of Spalding County, or a portion thereof will be inside of Spalding County. Building number 10 is the one that is the largest portion that's inside of our county.
So those funds to help pay for that vehicle will be coming out of the fire fund?
That is correct. That will be coming.
Or the fire impact, fire department impact?
Oh,
Or?
or,
All righty, thank you.
All
We
right,
already have, we already, yeah, right.
we're not, we have
we're good to vote. You've got James and Ryan.
All right, any more discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0, motion carries. Report of the county manager.
All right, so as we get started this evening, I just want to highlight the fact that DeAndre and Amy have done a great job at getting us ready for our what we're calling our studio. It's a small room over at our Public Works facility that afford us the opportunity to have good conversation in a quiet location where we can video and share back with our community in a much more informative manner what is going on inside of our community. So with that being said,
Tab,
It's not switching over.
okay.
just a second here. This is,
See, I got it.
First
We
time-
might have to end
this is the first time we've done this.
PowerPoint presentation. and then
This is
go
the
there.
first time we've done this. We hope this will be
Ooh.
the times we've done it from now on.
I think we have to end the PowerPoint.
Yeah, we gotta go get it.
PS, dual monitors.
There we go.
Hey, good evening and welcome to the County Manager's Update. I wanted to come to you this evening from our new studio that our citizen engagement specialist, DeAndre Smith and Amy Story, put together for us. What a wonderful facility this is. It will afford us the opportunity to share back with our community what's going on in our neighborhoods and provide an opportunity for us to do one-on-one sessions with our department heads, our Board of Commissioners, and members of our community. So let's get started with our update. So on July the 27th, we had an event here for our fire department where the local emergency responders were on scene of a small plane crash off Carver Road as part of a mock drill. It was a mock disaster drill that afforded about 90 people to come together and train for a simulated emergency event. I was so proud of our guys. They did just a phenomenal job. If you get a chance to see either Chief Polk or Chief Byrd, encourage them from the perspective of doing a great job. The Georgia Bureau of Investigations, GEMA, Fayette County, and others were a part, City of Griffin, and others were a part of this training event and just did a fabulous job. Talking about our Public Works and our Parks and Leisure Services, our LMIG, the work that we did last year for Baptist Camp Road, the paving is finally complete. And the Public Works guys are working to get the grass cut along Baptist Camp Road. So give them just a few minutes to do that, and we'll get the grass cut. Our CTP, our Comprehensive Transportation Plan, is about 70% complete, and we're looking to have that report to us within first quarter of next year, 2023. Our transit study, the transit study is now 90% complete. Reynolds, Smith, and Linebacker are consultants for this project, and their draft final report was submitted to the Atlanta Regional Commission for final comments just within the last week, and we're looking to complete that project here within the next 2 months. State Route 155 redesignation project, Heath and Linebacker are consultants for this project, and we are 76% complete. We received an update for the project last Monday in our extraordinary session for the Board of Commissioners. The consultants portion of the project is anticipated to conclude in fall of 2022, so just a few months away and we'll be complete. Our aquatic center, MEJA began sending the RFIs and their other submittals to our engineering and our community development this week. The notice to proceed was issued on July the 12th, and I'm happy to report that the grading began this week on that project. I hope you're able to see that in the near future. Our Rosenwall School, the building is approximately 90% complete. The architect is coordinating materials and colors with McElroy Construction, with Kelly Carmichael, and with Morgan Cantrell for items associated with the approved State Historical Preservation Office. The expected completion date is September 16th, 2022, so we're only a few weeks away from having that project complete. The Rosenwall Gymnasium, Paragon is the prime consultant with Epstein and Associates as the architects. Epstein is permitting the construction documents with Spalding County this week, and we're looking to bid that phase of the project beginning in September. The Cabin District Fire Station, we've got some challenges with some of the runoff water when we have our storms, and I don't know if you've seen all the water that's been coming through our community lately with the rain events, but we've had some challenges with that water infiltrating into the fire department. So Paragon is working with TJ and Lance to help us remove that water from coming directly into the fire station. So I'm happy to report that that project should get started here in September as well. Carver Road Splash Pad, Paragon is working with TJ to finalize the TOF for the design of that splash pad, so more to come here in the next few weeks. The courthouse elevator modification, we're waiting on parts from TKE and expect delivery of those parts later this month with construction beginning in September. Our T-Splost resurfacing, happy to report that Malier Road, Bicycle Road, County Line Church Road, Creekwood Drive, Landing Way, Quail Creek Drive, and West Ellis Road have all been resurfaced. If you notice, there are some stripings on those roads, but those are temporary stripings. It's painted. The asphalt requires 30 to 60 days of curing before we can put the final coat of striping on those roads. And remember, we're putting thermoplasty down, so those roads are really going to look good, and the safety is very important to us for the striping of those roads. TJ is working with McElroy Construction, who is the only contractor that we could locate for our chip and seal program. He's working to get cost estimates for unincorporated portions of Pineview Road. Additionally, Paragon is supporting this request to ensure we avoid any issues with the subsurface rock and potential safety issues as a result of the hill that's on that road, where we're looking to do some improvements there for those who travel back and forth on Pineview. Our sidewalk projects, Carver Road construction, we took care of that this evening. The North Hill Street, Paragon received the topographical survey and will complete the conceptual plan as of this week, with cost estimates expected at the end of this week. So I'm excited to report that we're moving forward with the North Hill Street sidewalk project. Spalding Street, Paragon is expecting the topographical survey next week with the cost estimates the end of the month, so we will bring that back to the BOC here in September. Ambucks Park and the City Park HVAC system, the contract was awarded to Wright Brothers in August, and construction should begin, if not this week, then next week. Our Flint River kayak launch, The conceptual design is scheduled for completion by Paragon at the end of this month. In community development, we upgraded our software this week, and our office is currently changing over to a program that will allow us to do online permitting along with communicating with other departments like our Water and Sewerage Authority, our Fire Marshal, and our code enforcement. During this time, building permits will take a little longer to process, so please be patient. And expect about a 10-day turnaround time instead of the typical 7. What will be impacted will be the permitting process immediately. So if you're a developer, you may have to go in and re-enter your credentials for the new software. Just expect a little bit of time, but once we get through this, it will be a much, much better program. I want you to take just a moment and watch this video that's coming up for Box City that our community development put together. That was a great video. Thank you, DeAndre. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Kelly Littlefield and the whole team. Thank you, Kelly Carmichael and your whole team for being a part of that. We very much appreciate it and look forward to more Box City events moving forward. Animal care and control. The Spalding County Board of Commissioners announced the promotion this week of Tyler White as the new animal shelter supervisor. He's been filling in as the interim supervisor and has done an excellent job. We're pleased with the direction he is taking the shelter, and we're confident he and the entire team will be able to move our brand new shelter even farther along. So we're very happy about the promotion, and we're very happy with the job that Tyler is doing for us. Our Board of Commissioner meeting last time we met, which was earlier this month, the Spalding County Board of Commissioners issued a joint proclamation with the City of Griffin welcoming our students back to school in Spalding County on August the 3rd. The proclamation was accepted by Dr. Keith Simmons and the school board on the 4th of September, and we're just encouraged with all that's going on in our school and look forward to a great school year. Our splash pad, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but several of our commissioners went on a field trip with TJ to review splash pads across our region. And there will be more information coming as we move forward, but we're excited about just the discussion of splash pads moving forward. That's my update this evening, Mr. Chairman. And as a final note, I just want to say thank you very much to the Board of Commissioners, to our staff, and to our entire community. I have completed 1 year with Spalding County as the county manager, and it's my privilege to be a part of this community. Thank you for all that you've done to make this year very memorable. Thank you.
You can do this every.
I'm gonna get you a new plant for your anniversary, cause that one's just sad.
Hey, I've got one more thing I want to share. And it'll be a press release that will come out probably tomorrow. Spalding County today announced that it is a finalist in the 2022 IEEE Smart Cities Award Contest for its project titled Connectivity Solutions for Spalding County. The project addressed efforts to make low-cost wireless broadband available in for Spalding County residents. This is from the work that we've completed over the last year with our Partnership for Inclusive Innovation, working with Georgia Tech. And as a part of this recognition, IEEE 2022 Smart Cities presentation will take effect in Cyprus September 26th through the 29th. So we are listed as a finalist, but there is a great possibility that we could win this award for the year because of the work that the staff here at Spalding County and the Partnership for Inclusive Innovation and our interns through Georgia Tech and our IT guys have done over the last year. Very, very proud of what we've got going on inside of Spalding County. And if any of the commissioners would like to go to Cyprus to accept an award, we'd be more than happy for you to go.
Gwen volunteered and I volunteered to go in her suitcase.
That's me and you both go there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for the opportunity.
I have that.
Commissioner Johnson?
All right. 3, 4 quick things. Definitely want to congratulate our employees for their years of service. I think we're blessed. I think we've just proven that to have the great employees working with us. Let me just say that. So congratulations to all those with those years of services and all the efforts they provide to our county. When we have these public hearings pretty soon, we really need to push that or emphasize that 14% inflation across the country. I mean, people need to know that and how it's affecting our services. I think when people really get a grasp of that and what that looks like, not just us, then they'll understand that what our position may be in our decision. So I would definitely want that to come across as well. I want to follow up. We were talking about the ARPA funds, and I'm not sure if we haven't talked about it in a while. I know we're going through these funds rather quickly, but did we still set aside the $3 million for the jail?
Yes, we did.
Okay. I want to make sure that was out there. I didn't want to make sure I missed something. So,
Nope.
so it's there. All right. Okay. And can you give us a quick update on code enforcement, where we are in that department?
Yes, we currently have one code enforcement officer, and we have an active job recruitment activity going on through our HR department for a chief code enforcement officer. We desperately need that within our county. We need to make sure that we're engaged in code enforcement. And Miles and his team are actively searching for a chief code enforcement officer for us.
Okay. Well, that's important. We know that. So,
Yes.
Okay, that's all I have for
All right.
tonight.
Commissioner Bolden?
I was gonna kind of follow up on that last question Rita had. If we do this, the marshal, let's do it the right way this time. I mean, it's not just a regular employee. That the sheriff and law enforcement need to do the interview process and go through it. I mean, anything, 'cause it's a lot. I mean, you can't just hire somebody right off the street to do it. I mean,
No,
it's
you
gonna-
cannot.
And it's like, Miles, I mean, he don't have access to the post records, he don't have access to all that, and that's something that really needs to be looked into. Chip and seal, I know I've been corresponding with you and TJ and stuff back and forth about chip and seal on Yarborough Mill. We just gotta make sure that was our shining star there, we gotta make sure it's done right. Cause right now, I rode down it the other day and it's almost got like a lane and down the middle of it, it's like this much higher than both sides of the road, it's cracking, anywhere it's washed, it's washing out at the creeks. And why didn't we extend it from, what's that road that comes in, it's not, the River Road, from River Road on up to, Blanton Mill? I mean, it wasn't but a little bit more there. And you get right there at that creek and it's rough. I mean, ain't nothing but washboard all the way to the road. But like I said, we just gotta get this done right, cause we got a lot of people watching us out there on it.
Absolutely.
And I ain't gonna bring the jail back up, no, on my list too, so, but I'm done.
Okay. Commissioner Flowers Taylor?
I'm gonna bring the jail back up, because I think that, I think what James is mention about the J-Splosh and, you know, the potential for something to happen legislatively. I just been around here long enough to know that nothing happens fast in government. And so I think we need to really sit down and look at what other options we have, to do this. I know that in the past we have, gone out on a limb financially, not necessarily on a limb, but we may have put ourselves in debt, and we were able to come back and pay the debt off with the SPLOST when we were able to pass the SPLOST. But I'm just really getting tired of us talking about it and having the sheriff come up here and have that frown get up on the top of his head when he gets talking about how we're gonna be in trouble. We just need to do something. You know, we need to do something. We know what we need to do. We just need to get a plan, and then we can have an alternate plan, but this is something that is really not going to hold. I mean, I know we got the $3 million, that's just basically to keep the water running. But we need to stop dancing. I know that, Judge Thacker is working on an overall plan. I don't know that that has anything to do with the jail. But whatever the plan is, and I mean, I don't know what the plan is, but, you know, if it's something that needs to be done in phases, the first phase needs to be the jail. But we need to, you know, we need to stop planning, we need to stop waiting, and we need to figure out what we're gonna do next about that. I just wanna say I had such a great time on the first day of school. It's the first time that I ever went to see the kids coming in, and they're all got this big book bag, and the little bitty ones, and you know, it was just so wonderful. But there were Spalding County people out there. There were Public Works people. There were City of Griffin police. There were some Girl Scout troop people. It was just amazing. I was at Jackson Road School, and I have to take my hat off to the sheriff officer who is out there conducting traffic. They have to have the patience of Job, because people be driving crazy when they get to that school zone and they think they can't turn in that driveway. So yeah, they have to have a sense of humor to be out there. So I'm thankful for them. What is the landfill that's out in western Spalding County off Bailey Jester? That's
In Western?
Western?
no eastern.
Yamacraw?
Yamacraw?
It's Pine Hill.
That's the
Yeah,
one that's in Butts County, right? Okay, so Mr. Jesse Maddox, used to be one of our employees, sent me a picture of him standing in his truck across from the entrance of that landfill, telling people they cannot come up Bucks north and south because it's supposed to be no through trucks. And he says that he stops about 10 trucks, and literally, I mean, he's retired, he's out there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Many of the people that he stopped, he says they haven't come back that way. But clearly, we should be able to put a sign up right in front of the landfill to tell people they need to go back to 16, because they are tearing that road up, going towards the highway and going back up. And also, he said that there was a stop sign at High Falls Road and Bucks North that had, like when you're turning to go to Rock Springs Church, it had like a sign that had lights on it. The lights don't work anymore.
Okay.
So if we can, I meant to tell TJ, if we could do that, I think, because we don't have a code enforcement person out there who can stop the no-through trucks, I think it's appropriate that we at least should put a sign up to redirect people, because he seems to think that once he's told people that he's visibly seen, they haven't come back that way. So,
Great, good point.
that's all I got.
Okay. Vice
Yeah.
Chairman?
We've got our own sign shop, you know, the
Randy.
genesis of which was here tonight. Like, we need to have no through truck signs everywhere that's not a highway. Like, it needs to be ubiquitous throughout the county. I mean, even on Ellis Road, I was pulling out of my mom's driveway the other day on the brand new, freshly laid asphalt, and like 4 18-wheelers come by it, and you're going, they're crushing this road that we just laid. What are you doing? You know what I mean? That said, I think the fine for an overweight truck or even a no-through truck is like $150. Like, it's nothing.
Who decides that?
Well, there's a state way to decide it, but we can also create it, if it's not already a local ordinance that the sheriff or code enforcement can fine for, we can, and it's a misdemeanor, and we can raise it to $1,000 if we want to. And we've already talked to Judge Kavanaugh, and she said, I'll follow whatever fine guidelines you give me. If they're guilty of this and you want it to be $1,000, then when we find them guilty, this is what, I mean, obviously she's the judge and she gets the leeway, but I really think if we want to protect our roads, we're spending all this money to resurface them and stuff, and then these timber trucks just smash them. These 18-wheelers smash them. They're not even delivering here in town. Where I was somewhere, it was like a little neighborhood, and this big 18-wheeler turns through, and people are having to back up to give room, and I'm going, this guy, and my wife's like, well, maybe he's making a delivery. I'm like, at the Johnson's house? Like, where is he delivering to? You know what I mean? He's cutting through this neighborhood, and that's not okay. Because those roads aren't built like highways. They're not built to sustain that weight. He goes across it, and it breaks the road, and you can't really see it until the water gets in and it freezes, and all of a sudden, a year and a half from now, everyone goes, why does our roads look like spider webs? This is one. But we should work on that. Look, same thing with the jail. I'm glad that we're all on the same page, that it's a when and a how, not an if. I know though that there is a lot going on. I've been in contact with Judge Thacker about this. He really is working hard. He and his group, his staff there, their whole team is really cooking on it. And it can't just be quick, let's do it. That's why we got a jail that's sort of built piecemeal and has all these underlying issues, because it wasn't really done the right way. So frankly, I think the harder part of it isn't necessarily where we're going to get the funds from. Now that all 5 of us are we need to do something. It's how do we do it the right way? How do we build this thing? Because it's not just a building. You know what I'm saying? It's not just building, one Griffin Center or this courthouse even. Like, there's tunnels and there's systems and there's and you can't go back and, my house, I forgot I got to do okay, let's dig a trench or what. You can't when there's that much reinforced concrete and safety concerns. You've got to really do it right. So this is something that, they're traveling around and meeting and touring a bunch of facilities and really saying, and talking to those facilities people that work there, and they go, oh man, we're really like this. We thought we would like this, but we don't ever use it. Or, boy, I wish we had this. And, yep, okay, let's make sure that when we go and get a plan, that we're getting something that's going to last, that it's going to really be. Again, one detention facility worker in Clayton County watches from a 100% secure booth over 250 inmates. You know what I mean? It's 2-story, he's in plate glass, and he's got the controls right there, and he's totally safe, and, or she if it's in the female area. I think there's 2 or 3 sheriff per 90 in ours. Like, our housing unit's the biggest part, and you know what I mean? Like, but they're in there, and they can high-five them if they wanted to. Like, it's, so grabbing those best practices, I think, is really, and like kind of, because there isn't just, you're not building McDonald's. It's not just you can make it the same as the last one. You really got to craft it for. So there's a lot going on there. Look at all the stuff we're trying to build. These kind of pavilions, parks, the splash pads. I'm always going to say it with an S on it. Splash pads. I just say I don't know why we wouldn't raise our impact fees to what the state will allow us to raise our impact fees to. Like, why would we go, well, we'll make it a little easier. No, if the state says 73, we should raise it to 73. If the state said 83, I'd be saying 83. I don't know why we would go less. Hey, Henry County's going less.
You weren't there for that meeting, but they went over that. Or these are compared to other places.
Yeah, we just discussed that.
Ours are low end.
But ours are abysmal
Low,
right now,
yeah.
and it's not okay. So I just wanted to, again, I don't know why we wouldn't say
let's go
We're gonna-
high end.
I thought we said we were gonna put us to where Clayton County was, which at 52 or 55 or something like
It was Henry and it was like 53.
Okay.
But if the state will allow us to go to 73, I don't know why we wouldn't. Like, I don't,
There was a reason.
no builder's gonna be
There
like,
was a
well,
reason.
$2,000.
There was a reason. I remember that.
Yeah, there was a reason, and Bob Ross and Paige Hatley will come back to the board and make presentation again for the final adoption of the impact fees.
So when we did the impact fees the first time, it was new. So we erred on the end of just seeing what we can do on the minimum.
Right.
Because we really didn't expect, it was.
Yeah, they're like at 1,200 or something now.
During
They're not.
the break where everybody, it was, what, recession?
Yeah.
Anyway, nobody was doing anything, so we didn't think we was really gonna get any money.
I think it's a hindrance on new development, like you're saying.
Yeah.
It
so-
is,
So
it
it's
is.
a whole new ball game now, and the playing field is a lot smaller
It's different.
because we're a lot emptier than most places around us. So I think we should leverage ourselves.
The way I look at impact fees is the people that live here, that have paid the SPOS, that have paid the taxes, that have paid and have built all these things, have bought in, have created this awesome programming, and it's not fair that somebody comes in and gets to use it and didn't pay a dime towards it. That's what impact fees are for, is to recapture that. And, you know, again, the developer at the end of the day doesn't pay it. The developer passes it on to the person, who then gets to say, well, my impact fees went to pay for this part. Yeah, I'm new here, but I've caught up and paid my portion just like everybody else.
Do you think they do that really?
So, look, that's the way they need to be looking at it. I'm
Impact
sorry.
fees, I think they do that, but okay.
But you're
I
right.
get it.
I'm glad that we were invited again by the school board to do the back to school welcoming. That's such a fun thing. I remember how trepidatious I was. I won't say afraid, but just worried at how every first day of school, I was a little kid. I wrestled 119 and didn't cut weight. I was a little shrimpy kid. And, you know, my book bag in my ninth grade year weighed 42 pounds. It was half my weight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I'm not gonna have any friends, you know, and to be there and like be exuberant and be like, y'all, you're gonna have a great year, and high five everybody, like, and you'd see them like, they'd get out of the cars like, oh man, and by the time they're past the gauntlet of people high fiving them, they're like, this is gonna be a fun year, you know what I mean? Like, and that made a big difference. I want to thank Animal Control for coming out. We were at Rehoboth Road, and there boy, you could see the anxiety just dissipate when they got to pet a dog. You know, like it was, oh boy, you know, and I can't tell you how many parents were walking their kids in too, going, well, that's such a nice dog. She can go home with you. We would love to send her home with you. I just fill out the form. We'd love to have her in your house. You could be your fur baby. The second Saturday events are really great. Downtown Council and Main Street and everybody else who's involved there, they're really, really, really great. My kid, this Saturday was the ice cream stroll, which is of course my children's favorite, and it's hard to contain them for about 3 hours afterwards. They're so sugared up with all the ice cream. But I think the county's missing an opportunity to have, you know, a little awning booth in front of the annex here and like, you know, participate more
Right.
fully in that program. Not that we're not through the various sub-organizations and the, you know,
But for us
the
to
Chamber of
listen.
Commerce, but like,
Yes.
let's have a, you know, again, I think we're missing an opportunity there. You know, we've had some of the elders from our church come and say the opening prayer for us, and every time we get a new elder, I take them sort of a driving tour of Griffin, and so I've been part of that tour is to take them to the Rosenwald School, take them to Fairmont, and show them you know, our community garden there. So I've been able to see every couple months the Rosenwald come along, and man, I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited. It was also really heartening. I want to give a shout out to the sheriff again. The last time I was over there, I'm driving, and I just got a new used car, and so it's got no plates, right? It's got the dealer, you know, tag of 5-4 plates, and you know, it's 3 guys in a car driving around in a neighborhood, kind of pointing at stuff, and a deputy got behind us, and we went into the Rosenwald School, and the deputy, you know, Didn't know, there was no lights, no, but like, you could tell that deputy was driving around, monitoring the neighborhood, watching for stuff, and like, it made me feel safe. You know, that feeling you get when you're driving on the highway and you see a cop and you go, oh no, am I speeding? Oh no, you know, like, that's normally the feeling that we all get when we see the police officer. When we were there, there was a moment of, oh, I'm gonna have to explain to him what I'm doing. I'm giving a tour, I promise, you know, there's nothing nefarious going on. But like, the underlying feeling that I got was, boy, I'm glad these guys are on top of it, monitoring this, you know, this neighborhood. Like, so really wanted to give a positive shout out, both to the folks building at the Rosenwald School, and our sheriff's department. I used to price things before I was married, in how many burgers I could buy for the same amount of food, you know? Like, well, this is this many hamburgers I could have got. And now that I'm an adult with kids, I go, well, this thing or this vacation is this many mortgage payments. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's sort of my standard unit. And as a county commissioner, I hate calling them out, but it's like, how many sheriff's deputies is this? You know what I'm saying? How my standard is, what are we paying these sheriff's deputies? And so, we've got the yearly amount, but a certified sheriff's deputy right now is $20 an hour. It's $20.73 an hour. And now we've got a bus driver making $22 to $25, and this is a certified. This is not just somebody off the street. This is the now certified sheriff's deputy. We got a bus driver who's driving an AC, nobody shooting at him, in a brand new bus going on a cruise. He's making $1.50 an hour more than them. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I relate. Well, what's the cost of this? Well, how close is that? How, you know, I'm not saying that we shouldn't pay this guy that much. I'm not saying that, you know, making tracks and Big Blue isn't something that we should have, but that's 100% a want. And the sheriff's deputies are 100% needs. So needs come first. I'll step back off my soapbox from there. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Let's agree we're gonna have a workshop on the jail and how we're gonna do something about it. So, over the next couple of months, we'll figure out a time and turn around and have a workshop and say, hey.
Can we reach out to Judge Thacker?
Yeah, but bring him into it.
Get the whole thing
Because he's
together,
got-
make sure we understand how we can do it with bonds, what we can do with SPLOS, and all of that stuff to be able to make that work. So, look through the calendar to be able to make that happen. Reminder, on August 24th, we've got the evaluation we need to get done.
Yes.
You need it on the 17th, though, right?
Right,
Okay.
correct.
What's today?
Millage,
Oh.
public hearings, please. Folks, if you're interested in talking to us and having us here, what your thoughts are on where we set a millage rate, please come to the public hearings. It's your opportunity for us to understand what your views are. So please don't hesitate to come out and speak. We've tried to get the times, as many different times to catch different people working at different hours. Lastly, I'm gone for the next couple of days looking at the ACCG policy on what we're trying to do with legislation. Once I'm back from that, I'll give everybody the information on what they're looking for, the issues on trucks and annexation and those kinds of things. That's all I've got. Anything from the counselor?
A couple things. One is, if you want an opportunity to go to another school, the College and Career Academy is inviting everyone to come out for their opening on Wednesday. And there's 2 times, I think, 7:50 in the morning, and then, Rita, did you see that?
Yes, I got it. I want to say it was 10 or something. I could be wrong.
And then there was one that was later in the day. If you're interested, we can certainly get you that
Very good.
information.
Send us something to let us know.
Okay, I got it here. It's 7:50 and or 11:45.
Okay.
And I'll send it out to you all.
Thanks.
And also, Becca and Murray is hosting Chamber After Hours tomorrow from 5 to 7, so you are all invited. Would love to see you there.
Okay. County clerk?
I'm good.
One last thing about, reminder, GME is going on, graduate medical. We have people who need to see doctors, we have doctors who need to see people. This is a great opportunity to get people to do this. This
Does
is,
the community know?
that's,
That's
yeah.
the problem. The community doesn't know that there's a place to go to the doctor.
And if you want to know, down 8th Street to just about the end of 8th Street, you'll be able to see it. Atlanta Heart's down there and stuff like that. This is, you go in there, whether you're uninsured, underinsured, or insured, and be able to get taken care of. We have 10 this year, 10 more next year, so a total of 20. And the final year, we'll have 30. And from then on, we'll have 30 always coming to see us. All right, any other comments? Somebody forgot something? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
We don't have a closed session.
All those in favor signify by raising your hand. 5-0. We're adjourned. Anything from you?
So Clay, you're not gonna be at the water authority meeting? Don't we have a water authority meeting on the 17th?
It's the 24th.
It's the 24th.
Oh, it
26th
got
week.
moved.
Yes.
Okay.